For latest updates, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.
Handling of cargo in Customs Area Regulations 2009. So, what do these regulations pertain to? Let us analyze it. As you are aware that the PC or the CC of Customs appoints or authorizes a custodian, what is normally known as a CFS, to handle the goods before customs out of charge is given either the time of importation or exportation. The custodian so appointed has to follow the rules and regulations as laid down. So these regulations talk about how a custodian, or let us say a CFS, will be registered under the Customs Act, and what are the rules and regulations to be followed by a custodian are enumerated in detail in handling of cargo in Customs Area Regulations 2009. These regulations define who a customs cargo service provider is. So, a customs cargo service provider is the one who is appointed by the PCO CC under Section 45 and under subsection 2 of Section 141 of the Customs Act 1962. So, what is the role of the customs cargo service provider? His main role is to receive, store, and dispatch the goods which are kept in the custody by the Indian Customs. What are the conditions which have to be fulfilled by the customs cargo service provider before the grant of, or rather before the police is approved by the PC or the CC? There are a host of such requirements, and let us see which are the few of them which are important. Infrastructure, adequate manpower for handling and storing goods, both of imports and export of any kind, including containers, is the first prerequisite to be fulfilled by the applicant. The payment should be enough to easily allow movement of heavy duty equipment, and the roads accordingly should be made that heavy duty equipment can move, as a cargo stored in such areas is always heavy and of a large volume. EDI connectivity must be provided in the CFS. Separate warehouses or separate place for import goods and export goods must be made available, including internal roads. Adequate sanitary and toilet facilities should be made available. Separate area for custom officers with cabins, etc., on a free of cost basis must be provided to custom officers who are appointed there to examine the goods and give a customs out of charge. Proper boundary wall, separate entry and exit gate must also be provided, besides adequate lighting in the entire periphery of the CFS. Undertake to bear the cost of posting of custom officers on cost recovery basis as may be prescribed by the PC or the CC. Execute a bond equal to the average amount of duty involved in case of imported goods, and 10% of the value of the export goods likely to be stored in the warehouse in a period of at least 10 days at any given time, and execute a bank guarantee of the 10% of the total duty involved of the goods which are stored in the warehouse at any given point of time. However, the requirement of not furnishing a bank guarantee is exempt for authorized economic operators and ports appointed under the Major Port Trust Act, which are generally owned by the state government or the central government. In such cases, the bank guarantee requirements are waived. A separate 10% bank guarantee has to be given for export goods moving either to the port or for transshipment to any other place of the export cargo likely to be stored in the CFS in a 10 days period. Regulation 6 talks about the responsibilities of the customs cargo service provider. Proper storage of import goods and export goods and goods meant for transshipment, and to produce a record as and when asked by the customs or the inspector of customs or the superintendent. Demarcate separately area for import goods and area for export goods and area for transshipment goods. Store the goods in the CFS separately for imports and exports, and prepare an outcome report from time to time, assist the Indian Customs with issue of notices in case cargo remains uncleared for more than 1 month as mandated under Section 48 of the Customs Act 1962. Keep a record of all the activities you are undertaking in the CFS for the purpose of import goods, export goods, and transshipment goods, and produce the records whenever asked for by Indian Customs. These are the main responsibilities which are enumerated under Regulation 6. Dispose of goods within 90 days which are uncleared or unclaimed or abandoned and stored in the CFS under the supervision of the custom officer. So these are the few responsibilities which are enumerated in Regulation 6 under the HCCAR Regulations 2009. Application to act as a custodian or a customs cargo service provider will be made in Form A or in Customs Series Form number 126, fulfilling all the requirements which are mentioned earlier. Upon satisfaction by the PC and CC that all the requirements have been fulfilled, the bank guarantee has been given, there is no case or any inquiry pending against the customs cargo service provider, or there are no other liabilities, etc. An approval will be granted initially for 2 years, and before the expiry of 2 years, it will be renewed for another period of 5 years, and in case of a EOU, it will be renewed for a period of 10 years. Suspension and revocation of the approval by the PC or CC can be done where immediate action is necessary and contemplated, and the procedure after suspension is similar to the procedure of revocation and suspension which is provided in the Custom Broker Licensing Regulations 2018 as amended. So in other words, the customs cargo service provider will be given a report upon suspension in a time-bound manner, stating why the license should not be revoked. The CCSP can meet the designated DC or AC and table his report, cross-examine the witnesses thereof, etc., and give further submissions wherever required. And finally, the PC or the CC, if he is satisfied that the approval given to the customs cargo service provider should be withdrawn or revoked, then that is done with immediate effect. Besides, the PC and the CC can also levy a penalty on the customs cargo service provider of rupees 50,000. The custom cargo service provider whose approval has been revoked can prefer an appeal in the customs and excise service tax appellate tribunal or SISTAT and can claim relief as the case may be.
For detailed learning of all logistics subjects, visit www.logiveda.com.